Hey, what's going on, and welcome back to Trading Options Network. It is September 11th. I cannot believe it has been 23 years. I remember exactly where I was in my freshman dorm room. But that being said, man, 23 years went by fast. All right, well, let's get into everything. First and foremost, let's go ahead and get this disclaimer out of the way. Everything we discuss is solely my opinion, not the opinion of Trading Options Network, so do with the information what you will, but take responsibility for your actions. And of course, be sure to like, follow, or subscribe on your favorite social media platform to stay up to date with everything that is Trading Options Network. Get tip of the day, stock of the day, everything that you can think of, and let's go. All right, so talk about a tale of two ends here. If we were doing this 4 hours ago, it would have been a lot uglier. But, we're doing it an hour before the market is closing. And not only has the market completely reversed, it's pretty much wanting to go green. So if we go ahead and look at the S&P ETF, that's, of course, a SPY. Notice that long lower shadow, or that long lower tail. We were very, very bearish to start, and I think a lot of that has to do with the CPI data that came out. Same with the RSP, the equal weight. It was even longer shadow. Actually dropped below the 50-day moving average. Man, I was a little nervous this morning, like, here we go. It's on, and I was wrong. But no, turns out we're right back to where I said I was expecting to be, right around 550. Of course, I know I said I was expecting to be around 550 in about a week from now, right before the FOMC meeting. But sure enough, we did go down and we came right back up. I would expect the same thing if we continue tomorrow to move up, that we come right back down once we get up to this level here that we've been at a couple of times. But nonetheless, I don't think we're really going higher or lower. And what I mean by that is I don't think we're going to all-time highs, but I don't think we're also going to create new lows either. I think we're going to be pretty much going sideways for a little bit. Again, if you've been listening to me at all, you will have heard me say that multiple times. Don't get me wrong, the S&P, if we look at the heat map here, still has quite a bit of red on it. There's no doubt about that. There's still quite a bit of red. However, a lot of these green companies are bigger companies, like the NVIDIA, or the NVIDIA. NVIDIA is up 6.5% almost. Amazon 1.5%. Microsoft 1.5%. Then we have a lot in the technical applied materials, almost 3%. I'm not even really familiar with this one. Lam Research Corporation 3%. KLA Corporation 3%, 3.5%. Cadence Designs almost 3%. And then we go to Micron, 3%, almost. AMD, 3%. Qualcomm, almost 2%. Broadcom, almost 6%. So there's a lot of these technical companies that are definitely, and of course, technology sector being the biggest, helping keep that market, afloat and not continuing to die. So where do we go from here? Truth be told, I don't think we're going anywhere. I know I just kind of mentioned that, so I'm probably reiterating it a little bit, but yeah, I do not believe we're going to be going too far high or too far down over the next week or so. I think once we come to the FOMC meeting, once that passes, then I think we might see a little bit more of a movement in one direction or the other. But until that happens, just kind of, for lack of a better term, stay put where you're at. Of course, I have opened up a few positions. So if we go ahead and kind of look at where we're at right now, there we go. Oh, of course, it's delayed. Well, if you are a platinum member, you know that we did go ahead and open up a position in eBay this morning. Of course, eBay was my stock of the day. I don't know what is going on with Thinkorswim. Their platform has really been pissing me off lately. There it goes. But yes, we did go ahead and open up a position in eBay because I do like what eBay is looking like right now. I like the chart. I like everything about it. I actually opened up two separate positions in eBay. One, a longer term position. If I recall, I think it was in April. expiration. It's somewhere in 2025. I don't remember the exact month. I believe it was the April. But I'm giving myself plenty of time for this to go up. I think we go up actually quite a bit over the next few months on eBay. Also, I did go ahead and open up about a 1 month, a month and a half. I think it was the October expiration. But that'll give me a little bit of an opportunity to profit from eBay if it does go up, say to $64, $65 a share over the next week or so, week or two, which I think it can. I totally think it can. I love this chart. I think it's moving on up. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, if this fails and we start going back down, then I'll have to kind of look at it again. But I do think we have a pretty strong support line now here at about the $59 a share. So I don't see it going down without something crazy happening. So I do want to take advantage of eBay moving up in the next little bit here. Of course, we do have some other positions like CRM, for example. CRM is a bearish position, but while we have been enjoying this nice little pullback here, I think we got in right around in this area somewhere. If I recall, today is having a little bit of a green day, but do I really think this is going anywhere? Not really. I honestly think it's going to go down to our 240. We have a 260, 240 or 250, 240. I think it's a 250, 240 bear spread here. But nonetheless, we are still in the money. I do not see this really going much higher. I just think it's kind of rallying over from the technology sector, being that it is part of the technology sector. Boeing is another one that we have. Again, Boeing was another bear position. With this one, we have a 170, 150 bear call spread. I think it's the October expiration as well. I gave it plenty of time to get down there. I think it will ultimately do that. But again, it's having a little bit of a rally because of the market. Typically when bearish stocks, or I should say, typically when the stock is having a little bit of a rally, or I'm sorry, when the market is having a little bit of a rally, bearish stocks will actually perform a little bit better because people are trying to get in at the so-called bottom. They think, oh, the market's going up. I'm going to get in these companies that have been kind of beat up lately. And it does cause them to have a little bit of a rally. I don't think anything of it. Usually these rallies will last a day or two. But that's pretty much it. And then they'll continue to move down a little bit more. We'll see what happens, though, because obviously we don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. Let's see. Duke is kind of taking it on the head a little bit. Duke is a bull position that we have, but it has had a little bit of a pullback today. I like this high base. It has kind of pulled back a little bit, but am I worried? Not at all. Duke still has 37 days till expiration, so it's also the October expiration. I can very, very easily see this, going like this, something along those lines, and maybe down a little bit more, but in this general pattern, I could see it totally happening. I don't think Duke is anything to be worried about right now, and we will ultimately see higher highs here for Duke. Now, if it does break this 20-day moving average, then potentially we will go ahead and close the position. But right now, we are still up in the position. We are still in the green on this position, so I'm not too worried about that. TDS is one that has been kind of underperforming for me. I don't like it very much. I mean, over here, this was my stock of the day. It did kind of pull back, and then somewhere in this vicinity, I was like, oh, here's the pullback that I wanted, and it started looking good. It was probably this day. What was that, September 6th? Because we, even though it gapped down, it started moving up. So I think that's when we opened the position, if I recall, and it did continue to move down. Now, am I totally, going to give up on this position? Not yet. Again, I gave this one a 2.5 month time frame because I do like this going higher. It does look like there is a little bit of support right here at this level. That's about the $22 level, and we did go drop below it, but we have moved back up above it. If it bounces from here, then I can very easily see us going up again. Something along, this, that line, and continue moving higher. So we'll see what TDS has in store for us. I'm not worried about this one yet. Again, because we have 2.5 months till expiration, I purposely gave this one a longer expiration because I wasn't too sure on whether or not it was just going to continue moving up higher. So I was actually, I'm not going to say I was predicting a larger pullback, but I wanted to give myself the opportunity to, not get crushed by a position if it did have a larger pullback. And sure enough, that's exactly what's happening. But I still think it's at a key support. I don't think it's going to be going down, so we'll just have to continue watching this one as well. Let's see, what else do we have? We talked about eBay, Duke, Boeing. Oh, Square. Square is an older position. Square was one of those where it's like we almost, I'm trying to think of how to say it. We almost got crushed by it so quickly, so fast that we didn't really have an opportunity to get it out. And then, of course, it did start pulling back. Now, this day, it is rallying on the technology rally itself. So if I go ahead and just pull up the technology sector, you're going to see that this has been very, very green today. But overall, this chart is still bearish for the time being. Because if we go ahead and draw some lines here, one, we can do that. Okay, we might have a little bit more of a rally. We'd also have, we can argue that that is another key trend line there. Of course, we can also put something along those, like right here as well. There's some, definitely some resistance there from here, a little bit from there, from right here. So we have some resistance right in front of us. So, who knows where technology goes, but, a nice rally in technology does not mean the technology sector is going to suddenly be bullish. It doesn't. In fact, I really do think that this is more of a bearish chart right now, because we are seeing, this to me is more of a bearish pennant, even though you can argue it's a bullish pennant. It's just, I don't know. This is one of those, it's like you can flip a coin and, I can give the argument for it to be bearish. I can give the argument for it to be bullish. I guess technically speaking, this would kind of be more of a bullish pennant because we are coming off of a large bull run, but that'd be a massive, massive pennant. Pennants usually aren't that big. The reason I feel like this is going to continue moving down is because I just don't see us. Personally, I see us hitting either this horizontal line that I have here as resistance or coming up to this trend line and then ultimately going down further because technology has rallied so much that I think it is due for a larger pullback. Kind of similar to the market overall. I mean, the market was driven by the tech sector, so I would not be surprised if I saw the market and the technology sector specifically just continue to move down. But we'll see what happens. So Square, we still have, we only have 9 days left till expiration, so we'll see what happens. Maybe it does get rejected where the 20 and the 50 day are actually coming together right now. So that's going to be a lot of resistance right ahead of it. And maybe it does bounce down and maybe we can get a little bit out of this. But it's going to be a tough one to be profitable on. And, again, I'll be the first to tell you I'm not going to be profitable on every single trade. If I could do that, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be sipping, Mai Tais in the Bahamas as the richest man in the world. But that's not the case. We'll see what happens, though, with Square. Ultimately, I think we'll probably close it for a loss, especially if it does jump here in the next couple of days and continues moving higher. But that being said, again, overall, I don't really have much for you other than the fact that we definitely rallied from the lows today. It bounced hard. We do have the midweek recap here that I'll be doing once the market closes. So keep an eye out for that. And we'll talk more about the CPI and the financial data that has come out this week. But that being said, I hope you learned something as always. Keep your head up if you got bit by a couple of these. This day was full of traps. I'll just say that there's both a bull trap and a bear trap, and potentially now another bull trap. So if you got trapped today, then sucks. But keep your head up, and know you have plenty of more days to continue to get better and make money. So I will talk to you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and stay tuned for the midweek recap.